try and knock out Vox as soon as possible.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as you say, Vox picked up there with the Catherine. Pretty powerful combination, all things considered, coming out. But like you said, I mean, the Finn actually very good here because, you know, there's going to be so much damage coming out, but that fortified health is going to be a big deal. Repositioning in these fights is going to be a huge deal. And with Cruel here, I mean, I can only imagine this is going to be a high damage dealing hero that's picked up here at the end. They're highlighted on Gringo. That wasn't what I was thinking as the choice, but it's the last pick. Do you think that this is the right pick?
Well, what's going to happen for the side of Royale Club is that they're going to have to make sure Vox rotates down on that first turn, because the thing is, they do need a slight moment of help in terms of that level 1 invasion. They're going to have to invade. They're dealing with a Finn, they're dealing with a Cruel, and if they leave them to their own vices, they are going to have to deal with so much in that later game.
My goodness, it's the mind games have already begun. We don't know. We know they need to rotate, but TSM knows they need to rotate. Do they? You know, it's like, what even happens at this point, Rome?
Lots of rotations in that jungle. I do feel like there is going to be a very early level 1 team fight.
All right, guys. We'll keep our eyes on it. Look for that early level 1 team fight. We've loaded into the Halcyon Fold, so let's go ahead and jump in there right now. And with that, we'll toss it over to our casters, Shinyi and Four-Court Jester. Take it away.
Fresh match, a fresh mindset. There's, you know, with a Vox on the team, I feel like Lightning T's confidence is just going to shoot through the roof here, Shinyi. But TSM up 1-0 in a game-deciding match if they win. It's definitely a little bit of a pressure on them.
Yeah, we're gonna let you know, like Rome said, I think he's definitely right when he says it's gonna be a very early game fight. Adagio and combined with a Vox very early on can be very, very strong, and so we like you said, we definitely need to see some good rotations coming out from both sides. I'm a massive fan of Royale Club's composition though. They've got that double silence going on, especially once we see Catherine and Vox reaching the level 6. And, you know, we've got that Adagio as well. You know, there's so much potential, so much chaining going on. Just a massive fan. Flash X, no fear walking into that grass.
Well, when you're Finn, you Finn to win, right? And with that boots forward, I mean, that's just going to be the end of Grasskin. Absolutely. I mean, you are going to be that close to a Finn with a 3-man collapse on top of you. A nice, quick, early first blood. But now, I was just thinking, you know, with Flash and with Call to Make, I mean, they're definitely not nearly as mobile as they were in Game 1. Are we going to see those aggressive jungle invades? And with the kill, I was considering maybe they will, but I'm not so confident anymore.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. I don't think we'll be seeing those invades. You do have a Cruel, you know, he's very slow, not very early game, especially compared to Adagio. So he's definitely gonna be a bit more cautious. You know, he's definitely a late game scaling hero. So I think once we get to the late game, he's going to be looking very, very good. But I think on the early side, he should be looking a little bit more cautious. And you know, I was going to say, it's Cruel the Meek, my favorite.
Cruel the Meek, yeah. He's definitely done some work in the past. Now, I'm thinking that Lightning T is going to have to go into weapon because there's no reason to take the Adagio if you're not going to be going into weapons box, right?
Yeah, they're playing the hyper carry. We're seeing the buff comp coming out. You know, it's been so popular, especially for those aggressive teams. And we're definitely gonna have to see Lightning T building some weapon. Currently, he's just got that light armor right now. I'm assuming against Mixi, who's beginning to build some crystal right now. So maybe not the best kind of first item pickup, especially against the Crystal Ringo.
Well, I mean, they've done double CP. There's no reason to not think that they might not do double weapon. And, well, all right, fine. Picking up the light armor might not be the best in terms of this matchup. And, well, McShee, all right, get some damage done there. But still, I mean, you can turn that into something useful hopefully a little bit later, especially with Cold and Meat going to be, you know, just breathing down your neck later on.
Yeah, we've seen so much kind of what happens when a Cruel gets really, really into the late game. He can do so much, especially if they're really good, especially at the Hell's Heart. You know how the longer the throw, the longer the stun, and if you time it right, it's very incapacitating. And looks like Care Package and Graskin getting caught out again.
Yeah, well, it forces Graskin at this point again. He's just going to be that target, and he has nowhere to go. I mean, when you kind of get that sandwich going, TSM is just going to eat up the whole thing, and that puts them now up 2-0. And consistently, we've been taking away these forwards from Royale Club. And, well, Mixi, a little bit of return damage. Care Package is actually going to pick that one up. Very nice pickup from the rotate on that Ringo. That actually puts a point on the board here for the crew. But when it comes down to this jungle, it definitely feels like Cruel the Meek is really winning it out.
Yeah, so they're not going to the backs and getting that healing or that healer each time, but they are getting the front, so they're slowly but surely establishing a little bit of control over the jungle. This is what they need to do. Cruel the Meek is being very careful right now, which is as he should be. He's going for that tanky build. He's got the shield. He's got an oak heart there. This is going to be a very, very late game that we'll be seeing. So Call the Meek took a little bit of damage there from Lightning T in the lane.
Yeah, I was kind of curious if he was doing that on purpose or he was just kind of in a little bit of trouble, but it looks like it's all part of the grand plan. Mixy's going to come around through, and, well, Lightning T is going to remove a little bit of health there. Flash is not going to be in that lane. We got to get that level 6 going. We need to get that Finn and that Anchor ready to go. And, well, we all know that Flash doesn't really like to get scout traps. He does actually have one in his inventory right now. And this 3-man, like, could we actually go right through this turret? I think with Call the Meek you could, but now they're going to find Graskun instead on this rotation, but now they're done. They're now going to go for the care package, and Call the Meek is going to be trying his best, but there's just nobody here that can keep up with him. So I think care package is going to be all right, and they are going to have to disengage. Or are they going to get greedy with this one? Lightning T is actually not coming down. This could work out in their favor. Care package is already so low anyways. Call the Meek's not able to cash in for the heal, and Graskun's just trying to do his best for the peel. Call the Meek's actually going to be dropping down real low. Flash there with a little bit of that fortified health, and now we're trying to kite out, it seems, with Catherine. Just not a huge amount of damage from both sides.
Yeah, very drawn-out fight there. We don't really see much coming out from the fight. I've got to say, Graskun does seem to be getting caught an awful lot in the last 2 team fights. He has been the only person to go down from Royale Club's side, and I think he's overextending a little bit too much. He's playing Catherine. We've seen him playing a lot of Finn, a lot of Arden. They're a lot tankier than Catherine, and they're not going to be able to withstand that early damage, even against a Cruel. So I think he needs to be a little more cautious, not overextend as much. And if we look at Care Package's build, he's prioritized mobility, getting the travel boost very early on. And I'm not sure if that's just to kind of get out of the way easier. That's just a typically very slow hero. But either way, it's leading to Graskun getting caught out quite a bit.
Well, I mean, one of the big things about Finn is that he's big and slow, right? So if you can actually dance around him, we've seen that work in the past, especially with some of our Sky pickups. But the safer you can be, definitely the better off you'll be up against TSM, because Cole will have to just continually chase and overextend to get that kill, and at the same time Flash, there's no way outside of a Force Accord that he's going to be able to kind of keep up with that pace. So I think that the travel boots should work out fairly well, especially in some of these fights, and as you can see here, with that extra movement speed, you can even chase down Flash as well. But Lightning T comes in from the side. Is that going to be Cole the Meek trying to jump him? Well, he got 2 stacks, but again, Flash, he's going to be the big target right here, and I'm pretty sure he's just going to drop here for the second kill to Royale Club.
This is looking awfully similar to the first game that we saw between these 2 teams. We saw TSM taking the early game advantage, but then Royale Club slowly drew ahead, and it was pretty even for the majority. So that was really nice rotation coming out from Lightning T. I was just about to comment that he wasn't rotating very well. Oh, and Call the Meek finding them on the gold mine there.
Yeah, and he will find Graskun, but that's going to be a stun. We actually got the damage reflect up, and the stun as well from the Adagio verse. That will be a very overextended Krull, and that is not going to be a dead Catherine this time. Very well played. Immense gold payout, even picking up these forwards for the first time in forever. Royale Club's got to be feeling pretty good about how this has turned out.
Yes, like you said, Cruel the Meek there being a little bit cocky, thinking he could 1v3 them with that gold mine. Didn't get the gold mine, didn't get a kill on Catherine, which I think is what he was looking for. So that was very good for Royale Club. Things are looking up for them. Beginning to look very equal. They're actually drawing ahead in the gold now. They've got the advantage. And I'm really liking the crystal that we're seeing on Graskun here. There's so many stuns, so many things that are, possible for them to block. So Mixture with the Hellfire Brew, Flash X with the stun. There's a lot there, and I really like that crucible.
And that also puts Care Package into a situation where they can block up to 2. I mean, there's the Hellfire, the Anchor, and the stun, the from Hell's Heart. So having that double save now with Lightning T on reflex, everybody has that 2-step saving program. I think that's actually rather fantastic. So we have to see how that works out. Flash in the front is just going to get melted. Nope, no fountain. Yeah, all right. Well, he does have boots. The wait for it does get dodged out. Now we're returning the damage on top of the Lightning T. Victor will actually pick up the kill, but now will they finish off with this 2v2 care package? No, he will actually live right through that one. And well, coming back into that, I'm not entirely too sure Flash X should have stayed. The fortified health was a great idea, but down that low already, I don't think they did themselves any favors.
Yeah, I was looking so close there. I thought Mixie was going to pick up the kill there on Care Package, but just wasn't quite enough against a buffed Adagio. Care Package, he doesn't really have that much crystal. He's got a heavy prism, but it was enough to pick up the kill there. We just saw kind of a lack of focus again coming up from TSM. I wasn't convinced that they were trying to, you know, I felt like Flash X was determined to go in. Call the Make and Mixy not so much. So I feel like we've got a bit of kind of differences in aggression coming out there from the team, and I think they kind of might need to work on that a little bit in the upcoming fights, because this is where things are beginning to master. We're going into the late game. Lightning T is level 9, Catherine's level 6. They could chain their silences together, so I think we need to be seeing TSM playing a lot more carefully.
Oh, stun into the Hellfire here for Lightning T. He does get one block off, and it's just not going to matter. Too much damage was already done. Graskin is just not going to be that Avenger that he needs to be, but they should be able to save out this turret, at least for now. But that's going to be now a two-man hook over the wall. You didn't expect that, did you, Royale Club? And now with Cole here, as well as the Mixi, are they going to dive for this? Well, they're not going to get Graskin. They will pick up Care Package, and well, that will be the death of that turret now as well. 6-5, and we just go with a TSM answer. They lose that one fight, but now they just return the favor.
Yeah, and they're getting the gold swing now. And looks like they're going to be going for that gold mine as well. They are going to be going for that gold mine. It's such a close game so far. You know, you can't predict which way the fights are going to go. They're swinging from side to side. And I really like how they were able to catch Lightning T out there in that first fight. You know, really helped swing the momentum of the game. It's difficult to say who's more in control right now. It's very close, I've got to say.
Well, after a turret, a gold mine, and a few kills, it's definitely going to put TSM now ahead. Mixi up in lane, able to pick up some farm, and that puts them now at 99 last hits compared to the 91 of Lightning T. Not to take away from the Vox, but yeah, if you do get caught that far forward, and especially, like, it doesn't really matter if you have these blocks. If you're stunned or you're silenced, you can't cast them. So it is something to take note of. If you don't block out any of these stuns, we can take you down very quickly, and TSM proved that with that last fight sequence.
Yeah, this is such a different, you know, Flash that we're used to seeing. You know, we know Flash is so well as being the one who always rushes Fountain, but he's been rushing Warhorn both games so far, and you know, we just saw him use the defensive Warhorn to get away when there's potential for Cruel the Meek and Flash X to be caught out there.
A little bit of the last hit's actually going to be given over to Cole.
Yeah, I think just kind of feeding him up a little bit. You know, he's going for quite an aggressive build. You know, I started off saying he's going very defensive, but he's already got that heavy steel. Looks like he's gonna be going for that Sour Blade, which will be dealing a lot of damage, but then he will be easier to take down. He will be frontlining there with Flash X. And he's just not very sure where Royale Club are, dancing outside that bush, and we can just see them grouping up. So I'm expecting a very exciting team fight coming out soon.
No, I'm fairly sure they have a pretty good idea where they are right now. The question to me is, will it be a blind hook? Are they going to attempt it? Well, with the flare out there, Flash is going to get noticed. He is going to counter flare, so I mean, they absolutely knew where Royale Club was. There's the hook, but it will be a hook in a minute.
Yeah, it was a bit of a confusing hook. You know, we see Cruel the Meek there at the minion mine. Ringo doesn't seem like he had any intention of grassing, so I don't know what the aim of that hook was. But, you know, he didn't really find anything from that hook. I feel like
we got a reflex block out of it.
They got a reflex block. Very, very true. But Call the Meek, he's looking a little bit low on the energy. Probably not the best time to be looking for a fight. And we do see, you know, Royale Club, they have all their skills ready to use. This could be very dangerous for them. The Hellfire Brew coming out into Care Package. Very nice block though.
Yeah, but that was a block from the Crucible, and as you saw, the stun coming right from that Hell's Heart. Now we do got a ton of blocks going out as all the reflexes and Crucibles are out and about, but Lightning T is just too far forward. Even with that burst, I don't see Royale Club actually coming out of this one. They just don't have the damage without that box, and if he's going to continue to be in that front line, and we can't stop these stuns, he is just a prime target with that Cole, with that Flash X right there as well. And, well, as you see, 2 kills. They're going to go for that gold mine. It's built up a fairly decent amount. I want to say it's a decent gold payout on top of it. Mixi's going to be able to push out the lane a little bit there as well, and they should be able to get some of this jungle.
Yeah, you know, that last fight looked so promising there for Royale Club. We had Lightning T using his weight for it down a channel, which was a perfect positioning, but he was so adamant on taking down Mixi that he just kind of let himself out of position completely. Lane called him, go onto him, and that was just the start of the death of Royale Club. You know, poorly executed at the end. It started off well, but like I said, just not done well enough at the end there.
So even with this 2-step, saving program with the reflexes, with that Crucible, it has so far just not worked out. Now the kills are fairly even, but the gold is starting to tilt a little bit more in terms of TSM's favor, and this is more or less where they started to shine last round as well. They're going to come into this one. Flash X is already down to half, but with that fortified health, he just does not go down that easy. Now we do get a lot of those blocks to wait for it. No silences here, and Flash X is just not going to drop. Now, the damage that they returned, really not that notable here for Royale Club, but they did use that wait for it. They don't have that verse up yet. We do got 10 seconds again until we can get that blast tremors. So a little bit of a confusing fight, at least to me, when it came to those cooldowns.
Yeah, I was not a big fan of the forced core we saw there coming out from Flash. He pulled them in right as Lightning T was setting up his wait for it. And if Lightning T had been a Crystal Vox, TSM would have been dead by then because he pulled him right into the middle of TSM. And, you know, that was a very bad move, I think. You know, thankfully they were quite tanky enough to get out of that one. And what is FlashX doing?
Well, he's trying to rotate, but he's getting caught. It seems a little bit more. That's going to be a point blank stun there from Cole, but the verse does go out. More block is just keeping a lot of this damage out. There's the blast tremor and the silence. You can't do anything, Cole, but he is just far enough away. They're going to leave FlashX to be the martyr. Not going to be nearly an ace, but again, TSM just looking a little bit more sloppy when it comes to these rotations, these fights. Maybe they're not expecting the aggression from Royale Club, and that's actually a surprise factor working in their favor.
Yeah, I think Flash is being a bit more aggressive than we would like. We're seeing him just kind of constantly stepping out, and by the time the rest of his TSM join him, he is already half health. He can't offer too much, and I think that's a main problem.
What? No, did Care Package just buy 2 weapon infusions?
I think he did. I don't think he meant to do that. Should someone tell him that infusions don't work that well?
He doesn't even have a spot in his inventory either, so it's just 500 gold down the drain.
Yeah, not a good move there. So I don't think TSM know anything about this wasted 500 though.
No, they wouldn't. No. Not for another 3 to 6 minutes, whatever the delay on stream.
Yeah, but I really like the positioning of Royale Club. They're dancing around that crack and they're keeping control of that area. TSM don't have any vision, and I think this is where FlashX's kind of distaste for vision kind of come into play here a little bit. That Kraken is already half full. This is not good for TSM.
Yeah, and there it is. Kraken unleashed. They had to have had some kind of inkling that it was happening with no pushing going on. And as you said, that lack of vision does sometimes come back to bite them in the butt. It might be the NA champions right now, but that can change into that next live qualifier if they, of course, make the cut. So until then, a few more infusions need to come out here from TSM. You can see Cole picking it up, and now there's the Ringo with the crystal, but Kraken is making its move.
Yeah, we're seeing Cole being careful to pick up only 1 weapon infusion and not 2. But that Kraken is now at the turret. I think we'll be expecting Royale Club to be looking for that fight. Lightning Team has been buffed.
Yeah, and FlashX is just dropping so very quickly. That's going to be a block that does not save a life right there. But now look at the return damage. Mixi able to do some really impressive stuff there with that Hellfire. Cole the Meek just cannot take it home though, but now Mixi, can he survive through Lightning T? Not a chance.
Oh.
Lightning T will pick it up with a 5-man slaughterfest. He is now going to be able to push forward for at least 1 more turret. Will he stick around for more? Well, I would definitely not advise it, but a huge win right there for RC.
Yeah, looks like we'd be going into 3rd game here, but FlashX getting caught again. You know, we saw Lightning T, the buff Lightning T going on to him, and FlashX running straight up. I don't think there's much he can do against Vox.
Yep, and there's Lightning T now going to be hightailing it out of here, because if he does not get that turret and he does die, definitely would have been a misstep. But they do actually get the turret. The Kraken will do a little bit more chip damage away on top of this turret as well. 1 more good set of fights, and Royale Club can bring this to a game 3. They are kind of driving this game right now.
Yeah, you know, they're looking so much comfortable in this position than they did in the last game. But interesting to know that even though they just took like 3 or 4 turrets, the gold is actually still very, very equal. So that's quite interesting. And if we see TSM pick up any turrets, that gold difference is just going to swing massively.
No vision in that bush, so TSM have no idea what's going on. Not that we're really going to be seeing any kind of backdoors, not with Adagio back at home and Vox showing himself in lane, but the collapse is not going to be here from Royale Club. They are going to have to give up that turret, and that will put us pretty much on equal footing for the cash, now that you do mention it. Little bit of a tie. It's a tense game. It's a 17-minute mark. This could go either way.
Yeah, this is a very close game, but, you know, if we look at the statistics, Royale.
We look at that Warhorn.
Royale Club, you know, they do so well in the late games. Their average match times are like over 20 minutes. They do so well with late scaling comps, and this is exactly what they've got. Graspin just walking into them.
Stun! Does not hit. Goes right between them. Lightning T is now going to be able to get a lot of this kite going. Kodami cannot stick to him, and that is going to be now the death. That's going to make it a 2v3, and well, they're actually going to just turn right back around. They say, all right, well, care package is just now done. FlashX is the only target here for Lightning T, but as soon as Mixi gets that twirling silver going, will Lightning T actually survive?
Oh my god.
He won't. FlashX tanked it all out, and now Mixi and Flash going to be trying to chase down Grass here for that ace, or will they give it up for the Kraken? The Kraken just spawning but they got 20 seconds to try to make this work.
Wow, who could have saw that coming? The fight has just completely turned. TSM getting the advantage now. So, you know, I think I was going to comment one thing during that fight. I was convinced TSM were going to lose that team fight because we saw Cruel the Meek just jumping onto Lightning T there, and he was so close to dying if it was not for that very nice fountain coming out from Grasscon. And if you look at TSM's build, they do not have a fountain. They really need that fountain. They have been caught out so many times without it. But luckily, you know, thanks to some very clever positioning coming out from Mixi, they were actually able to win that team fight there. So, you know, hopefully FlashX will have some money to invest in it soon. He's got 1200 gold, but he's going to be investing for the infusions instead.
Yeah, so many infusions. Because this could actually just be the end of the game, so you might as well put your best foot forward. At the score of 12-11 and about to hit the 20-minute mark, as he said, you know, Royal Club, if they can actually hold here, chances are that they might be able to still bring this to a game number 3, but the big trick is that they do actually have to hold. We have, I do believe, a grand total of 12 infusions on deck, 2 from every player.
Wow. But, you know, TSM are so well known for synchronizing their infusions really well. Like, they all infuse at the same time, and it gives them a massive power spike in this game. And we can just see the damage coming from Mixi onto that turret. That Kraken has hardly taken any damage from the turrets here.
Now, that turret just did not last. Grasscon's going to get into the thick of things, and Cole the Meek is just going to get silenced. Even through that jump, he can't do anything, but a 2-man stun from Flash will keep these guys busy. Mixi, though, does get the damage, or at least the burning part of his ultimate block. Lightning T, however, it might actually just overextend. He gets a bullet to the face, and now it's going to be this 2v1, but the Kraken is still doing work, and Graskun might not even live right through this one. Mixi gets the second kill. Will he get the third? Care package will burn him down, but the Kraken, can it take another turret?
This is such a close game. This is absolutely insane. I don't know if Care Package does the damage to finish out that Kraken. And I was very fortunate they were able to pick up the ace there onto TSM. And I've got to say, Mixi, his Hellfire Brews are doing an incredible amount of damage. I really like, you know, in a lot of other games where we see a Crystal Ringo, we see the Crystal Ringo engage in the fight with the Hellfire Brew. And what I really like that Mixi is doing is that he's waiting to be fully stacked up in the Broken Myth. So before using his Hellfire Brew, so he's dealing a lot more damage. But I think
it was 810 that I saw.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane.
Yeah,
damage
that's a ton of.
Yeah, but look at that. Look at the scoreboard. 14-4, and the goal difference is only like 1k right now. And both of them, well, Royale Club are down to the Crystal, and TSM are down to that last turret and Crystal. So it's so incredibly close right now.
Next fight can feasibly win. Next fight can actually just be a rush down to the Crystal, because that turret only has just a little bit, what, 3/4 about or so? I'm looking at the shield. It's about 3/4 health. At this point of the game, you can probably just tank it out pretty easily. I mean, you are just such powerful heroes at the 21-minute mark. And TSM, they're going to be trying to be all sneaky up there. Are we actually all backing Royale Club saying we're not going to be even risking any kind of backdoor shenanigans? They do not see the crawl forward. They do not accept any kind of over-the-wall shenanigans. They are going to be looking for a fight here at the choke.
I love the use of the word shenanigans. One of my favorite words.
3-man hook. That is going to be a good start here for Flash, but we do got the burst coming out. Stuns and silences. We are trying to keep TSM at bay, but Care Package is out. They did not take down Cole. Cole did stick to him like glue that round, and look at the damage again. Lightning T is going to be trying to be that guy who lives to the end, but it's just not going to matter. That is a 2-0 return as TSM now with a free crystal. Nothing else to stop them. Grasscon unfortunately just has to watch sadly on the sidelines.
That was so close there, that team fight. You know,
3-man hook. 3-man
risky.
hook.
So risky. But, you know, we saw a really nice chain coming out. We saw, you know, once Flash pulled them in, Care Package just started doing channeling the Versa Judgment. And we saw the silence coming out from Grasscon, which blocked them from using the Crucibles. And I don't know how TSM managed to live through that, but they did. And once he lived through that, it was easy for them to take down Royale Club. That was absolutely incredible play coming out from both sides there.
A big thing, at least in my eyes, was that Cole the Meek didn't drop dead very quickly. He was able to really just live right through that one, keep on top of Care Package, and as he said, I mean, they lived right through it. We did have a Crucible by the end of it for Flash, but, you know, hey, Warhorn first into Crucible, then Atlas, then Fountain. New meta.
Risky, but it worked for them.
Whatever works, man. Whatever works. So 2-0 for TSM. That is unfortunately not going to be any kind of repeat here for Team Penetrate, aka the Royale Club. And TSM will move on. We'll see RC a little bit later. And Jin Yi and I are going to take a quick break as we throw it back to